Hello from Rhiannon and me. Great to have you with us as we head to the weekend.
First tonight, he styled himself a reformed armed robber who made numerous TV appearances and wrote several books. But today, he's back behind bars. Terry Smith, the ringleader of a gang who committed at least 7 armed robberies across our region, was today found guilty of conspiracy and firearms offences.
Well, among his most notorious crimes, a robbery in May 2007 at Rayleigh Station, during which Have-A-Go hero Adam Mapleson was shot and nearly killed. Today at Chelmsford Crown Court, Smith's brother Leonard was cleared of the charges after the jury deliberated for 6 days. Our Essex reporter Tom Barton takes up the story.
Obscured by a bus, an armed robber, shown here by a yellow triangle, attacks a female security guard and makes off with a cash box. Adam Mapleson, indicated by the green triangle, steps in and nearly foils the robbery. The criminal, Brian Wall, shoots him and runs off. This was Rayleigh Station in May 2007. Adam was left fighting for his life in hospital. The gang of robbers was left £20,000 richer.
I knocked the guy with a cash box to the ground just by going into him with the left side of my body. As he was righting himself on the ground, I noticed that he had a gun. So when I saw that, I just took a step back, held my hands out to my side to not look threatening at all. And that was the last thing that I remember up until about 10-15 seconds later.
The 26-year-old IT worker had been shot in the chest. These pictures, shown in court, showed just how close the bullet came to hitting a major artery. It remains lodged in Adam's shoulder. Brian Wall was convicted last year of shooting Adam Mapleson. Today, Terry Smith was convicted of conspiracy charges for his involvement in that and 6 other raids over a period of 16 months.
Terry Smith was here at Rayleigh Station with Brian Wall on the day that Adam Mapleson was shot. Smith was a career criminal. He'd spent time in jail, but after being released in 1995, he'd established a new career, this time as an apparently reformed armed robber, talking and writing about his earlier crimes.
Joining us now, Terry Smith, former armed robber who was once Britain's most wanted man after an escape from jail. He's the author of...
Terry Smith hawked himself around as a television pundit. This interview on Channel 4 News was conducted in February 2006. A clue, even then, that he was still very much on the side of the robbers.
History tells us that the police have got a good success rate. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping they don't catch him back.
Smith was also an author. Among his 3 books, an autobiography called The Art of Armed Robbery, billing him as Britain's most infamous armed robber. It's a book which proved to be his downfall.
The book itself really proved to be quite a source of intelligence. Once we became interested in Terry Smith, we were able to glean a lot of information about the way he operated, about his associates, and really about the way that he was able to get away from robberies.
Starting with a robbery in Witham which netted £75,000 in September 2006, the gang carried out a series of almost identical armed raids on security vans delivering money to cash points across Essex. By January 2008, they had completed at least 7 raids, stealing a total of £172,000. 4 of those raids were after the Rayleigh attack where Adam Mapleson was shot. The robbers' lack of remorse leaving Adam bemused.
They've gone out and obviously done this Rayleigh job, and then even though they've kind of shot me and potentially, well, nearly killed me, they've still gone on and done other armed robberies afterwards, so hasn't affected them at all.
The effects of this 16-month reign of violent crime will certainly be felt by Terry Smith now. He's been told he'll serve at least 12 years in jail. Maybe this time it really is a case of 2 strikes and you're out. Tom Barton, Anglia News at Rayleigh in Essex.
Well, next, a mother's outspoken attack on the hospital where a breach in health and safety laws led to the death of her severely disabled son.
Kyle Flack was just 20 when he died after his head became caught in the bars of his bed at Basildon General Hospital in 2006. Today, at the town's magistrates' court, the hospital admitted failing to ensure that patients were not exposed to risk.
Well, outside court, his mother welcomed the guilty plea, but said that she and her family had been through absolute hell. Well, Lorna Ramsey was in court today for us. Lorna.
Well, when Carl developed stomach problems in October 2006, his family thought hospital was the best place for him. But his mother, Gillian, believes that he would still be alive if he'd never been admitted here. Today, she was in court to hear the Trust's admission of guilt and to criticise the hospital that had let her and her son down so badly. Gillian Flack has been waiting nearly 3.5 years to get to this point. In October 2006, her severely disabled son Carl died at Basildon Hospital when his head became trapped in the rails of his bed. And today, staff from the hospital trust attended Basildon Magistrates' Court to hear the guilty plea being entered. Although Gillian welcomed that plea, she says it never should have happened.
They entered a guilty plea. It will never bring Kyle back. I don't have hope on my heart that it won't happen to someone else with complex needs. I feel totally let down. Me and my family and friends have been through absolute hell.
Carl was 20 years old. He was quadriplegic and also had cerebral palsy. His mother told hospital staff he needed bumpers on his bed, but the wrong type of bumpers were used. The charity MenCap says this is another example of a person with learning difficulties being let down by the NHS.
There are still many organisations or institutions within the NHS that haven't taken the needs of people with a learning disability seriously. Historically, Basildon's been one of those. People with learning disabilities have all the same health issues that the rest of us do, but they need special care in terms of the way the health services interact with them.
In a statement, Maggie Rogers, the Director of Nursing at the Trust, told us, "I repeat our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Carl Flack. I can reassure our patients that since his tragic death in 2006, we have taken action that includes improving the management of equipment and the care of our patients with special needs." This case comes just 3 months after a damning report by the Care Quality Commission. At the time, the Patients Association called for Trust Board members to resign after the Commission found some shocking discoveries here at A&E. In November last year, inspectors found blood-splattered equipment, bloodstains on the floors and curtains, badly soiled mattresses and an unusually high death rate. But in a return visit in December, inspectors said hygiene standards were improving. But that's not much comfort for Gillian Flack. Reassurances that care has improved is too late for her son. Now she's preparing herself for the hospital trust sentencing, which will take place on March the 15th. Lorna Ramsey, Anglia News, Basildon.
A 51-year-old man from Bedford has been found guilty of raping a woman 21 years ago. Today at Luton Crown Court, he was sentenced to 9.5 years in prison for the attack that took place in Bedford's Priory Country Park back in 1989. He was caught thanks to developments in DNA testing.
Yes, I think he thought he was in the clear, but over the last 4 years there's been a tremendous amount of work put in to secure this conviction today. And if there are other people out there who've committed similar offences in similar circumstances, then it's fair to say that they could probably expect a knock on the door as well.
Right, then it's almost 10 minutes past 6.